anxiety. That's how it feels, right? Not to make light of it, because it's something which I'm prone to myself. But first and foremost, what you need to understand is that we all are. Just those of us that are more awake, more able to wake up, and that feel more, we can't choose what we feel more, right? We feel it all more. So we have to learn to appreciate the good times that much more, and allow to flow with acceptance the bad that much more. Everything exists in duality. I say this time and time again. A coin can only exist with two sides. So when it lands on the happy, joyful side, be thankful, fully appreciate and enjoy that moment. When it lands on the fear-based, negative side, accept it for what it is. See what it's there to teach us and allow it to flow through. Anxiety is a byproduct of our evolutionary process. The reason that we are the dominant species on the earth through scientific evolutionary process, right, is because of our advanced fight or flight response. Our ability to look into the future, to perceive potential threats and come to the best possible conclusion and scenario of how to deal with these threats, right? But in today's world, we don't have polar bears or grizzly bears coming to attack us. We don't have saber-toothed tigers coming to steal our young. We don't really have any real external life-threatening events. So, to keep us in this constant state of anxiety, this constant state of fight or flight, which served us amazingly well to get us to where we are, but is almost a hindrance to us now, right? To keep us in this state, to keep us blind to the power of living in the now, to keep us divided from one another and fearful of what we have, our little nest egg to protect, keep everybody else away from. The system is set up to keep drip feeding us with fear, to keep that response of anxiety heightened. This is done through fear-based media and false flag propaganda, through us believing there is an external threat to us, to our safety, to our lives. Anxiety is a natural part of a human being. It's a natural response to danger. It's what kept us alive, allowed us to survive and thrive, right? But it comes in levels almost, and it's turned on by a switch in our brains. So say we're born at a base level of anxiety, fight or flight response, right? Something happens to us in life which raises that base level to here. So, and then our new base level is here. So we have to be that much more ready to fight or flight. And it's kept here because of the way the world is. It's never allowed to lower unless we do something about it. We lower it ourselves, right? And then if something else happens, some other kind of major event in life that comes out of the blue that we didn't see coming, and we feel that perhaps if we were better prepared for it, we could have altered it. So we're trying to look into the future to predict it and remedy it again, right? So then the new base level raises to here. And we're on full alert, ready and waiting to run or fight. But it never lowers because we're not allowed in the society we're in for it to lower. What if I lose my house? What if I lose my job? What if my children get abducted? What if I'm not good enough? What if I don't please those people? Right? What if I don't fit in? What if, what if, what if? Anxiety. So, what I do, what I have done, is almost disassociate it from myself again. It's not my higher self that's anxious, it's my human self, it's my ego self. So again, like the ego gets given all the rubbish, gets given those negative responses, gets given the anxiety. It's not me, it's part of me, right? I'm not associating myself with it. It's part of me, but it is not me. And the first step is accepting that it is a natural response. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just a natural response to certain external stimuli. That's it. Next, what I do is I feel it. So I feel myself get anxious now in my body before I actually feel the anxiety. So I get my forehead gets tight and my solar plexus area here feels sucked in, like drained. It's draining my energy, right? Each of you will feel anxiety somewhere in your body. Maybe your shoulders, maybe your back, maybe your lower back starts to hurt, maybe your hands start to tense, maybe you get twitchy, I don't know, tight legs. There'll be something, there'll be some part of your body which will respond to that anxiety. First step is to notice it in your body. To take it out of your head into your body. Anxiety can feel like being a prisoner, trapped in our own minds, stuck in a thought of potential future scenario, right? Potential danger, potential situation that we don't really have control over, but we wish we did. Almost like being stuck in quicksand. It's almost like our body completely loses all meaning. All of our focus is in our head, and our head seems to expand and be this massive thing with these thoughts bouncing around. The same with quicksand. If we try to struggle and fight it, try to not want it to be, it will only suck us in further. The same with what you're going to focus on and grow in your garden that is you, right? Focus your attention on those weeds, wanting to pull them out, and they're just going to grow. You can't pull those weeds out, they're part of your garden. Accept them and focus on the flowers. So bring my awareness out of my head into my body. I feel where it is. Once I've felt it, I kind of start to breathe. Again, bringing more attention into my body. Mindfully breathing in and out. And as I do, the anxiety slightly lessens. The next thing I do is I send my awareness outwards. So I look around, even just at your body again to start with. Look at your hands, look at the lines in your hands, but more ideally look at your surroundings. Try to notice 2 or 3 things, one at a time, and give full attention to them. So that picture on the wall, it's green, it's pink, it's purple. It reminds me of this. It makes me feel like that. The best way to try to do it is to fully visualize what it is. Say there's a sandwich in front of you on the table, perfect. Take the sandwich out, pack it, feel it, how does it feel? Smell it, how does it smell? Taste it, how does it taste? And then imagine the process that has gone into making that sandwich. So in your mind, go back through the production process. Who's delivered it? Who's packaged it? Who's made it? Who grew the wheat? Who grew the vegetables? So on, so on. And it will all come back in a big circle, back to the earth, which is within the universe. And by expanding our awareness outside of ourselves to our surroundings and to the vastness of our surroundings, it helps to shrink the severity of what we thought was this massive just head thing, right? This anxiety. That is not. We're insignificant in the grand scale of things, and our worries are even less significant, right? Because they're all just in our head. After doing this, what I'll do is ground myself again, ideally outside, but we can do it anywhere. So you sit, you imagine roots coming out of your feet, going into the earth, going deep into the earth, into the crystalline core of the earth, into the energy center of the earth, like this earth solar plexus, right? And what I do is I clean my energy. So I send almost like a hose, again, water, right? It links to other videos I've done about colour being added to the water that is you. And when we breathe fresh air in, we're bringing fresh energy in, and it dilutes it. But we can actually do a complete flush of our system, flush out the old coloured water, which has been coloured through a different emotional response, right? Same with anxiety. So I connect like a hose coming out of one foot, going to the centre of the earth and back up the other foot. And when it gets to the centre, it's cleaned, completely clean, pure and fresh. Comes back in, back up into my body, and I circulate it a few times, flush out the system. Like you would flushing your radiator system, right? Flushing all the bits of rubbish out of the radiators. Flushing all the bits of rubbish out of your head. After doing this, I bring myself back into my body, breathe again, center myself, know that I'm grounded, I'm connected, and I'm part of all. But I'm out of my head. Look, it's the same with everything. It is a natural human response. But we do have the ability to take control over our response, to decide our reality, to create our reality. It's just kept from us that we have this power. And it's kept from us in ways such as keeping us in that anxious state. It can be, it's crippling. Anxiety is crippling. But there is a way, there is light at the end of the tunnel. And know that even one mindful breath in, breathing air in, clean fresh air, clean fresh energy, watching it mindfully come in our nose, down our throat, to fill our lungs, Watch that oxygen travel around our body, giving us life within our blood. Watch the exhale return out of our lungs, out of our mouth, back into the atmosphere, where in turn it will be absorbed by a tree, by a plant, and that plant will use it to help give it life, take in for its source of energy, and in return it will grow something that will be produced that we can then in turn intake for our energy, continuing that cycle of life. That in itself is meditation, that one single breath. And meditation is the perfect way of getting our baseline response from up here slowly lowered down back to baseline levels of what are really necessary for us in this day and age. We need that fight or flight response. We need that ego protection. But we don't need it all the time. We don't need it always up here. We don't need that switch always on. It can get stuck on. Like somebody, if you tapped it too many times, you tap it on, it gets stuck on. It gets stuck on up here. Torture. We can learn to lower it back down. Meditation is the perfect way. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be a long process that requires willingness and self-belief. But it is possible. As with all the information that I share, I do so because I've lived it and I know it's possible. And as I said before, I don't always live it. I'm not mindful enough to continuously live in the way I know would be the most beneficial, right? But I know it is possible, and I do my best to live it as often as possible. I'm going to do a guided meditation guided anxiety meditation video after this, because I've told somebody, one of our soul family, I would, right? It's something which is very meaningful to me and took me a lot of stumbling around in the dark and self-discovery with bits of knowledge from here and there all mixed together to create my own version, right? For me to realise that I had the power to take control over even this. And I share as with all, because I hope that through my struggles I can help somebody lessen theirs. So, as always, I see you, appreciate you, I get you, and I love you. Namaste, you beautiful cosmic surfers. Until next time.